morning. I'm your anchor, Cassidy Herman, and welcome to Channel KAC. Today we will be diving into the chaos in Korea. Reporting live in Korea are Kayla and Anna. Now over to Anna to discuss the economic systems in the USA and Soviet Union.
The United States and the USSR have two completely different economic systems. The United States is capitalist, while the USSR is communist. The United States feared communism and wanted to prevent the spread of it, while the USSR wanted to grow communism. The two superpowers also competed to be number one technologically and militarily.
Now over to Anna DeLeo to see why Korea is in so much chaos.
While the United States and the USSR are enemies now, they weren't during World War II. During World War II, they defeated the Japanese Empire and thus dismantled it, taking North Korea, which was controlled by Japan, and splitting it into two sections along the 38th parallel. North Korea was controlled by the USSR, making it a communist state, and South Korea was controlled by the United States.
Breaking news. North Korea just invaded South Korea. Over to Anna with the details.
Breaking news. Today, June 25th, 1950, North Korea has just invaded South Korea, crossing the 38th parallel. North Korea invaded, backed by the USSR, in hopes of uniting the two countries once again under one communist government.
I was lucky enough last week to interview a general from South Korea. Now over to that clip.
I am here with a South Korean general to discuss South Korea's defense plan against North Korea's invasion. What was your reaction?
The invasion caught our military off guard completely. We've been rushing to protect South Korea ever since.
What's your plan?
We are just finishing building a front behind Seoul and plan to hold North Korean soldiers there until we're strong enough to push them back to the 38th parallel.
How are you handling North Korea's superior military?
U.S. shipments of artillery, tanks, and troops are coming as we speak, so we should be able to hold them off once everything arrives.
All right, General, I'll let you get back to planning. Any last statements for the South Korean people?
Yes, I want the South Korean people to know that no matter the costs or how bleak things may seem, we will win this war.
Thank you for your time. Now back to the broadcasting studio.
Here's how both sides reacted to the attack.
The United States, fearing the spread of communism, asked the United Nations if they could send troops and military aid to South Korea, preventing a takeover. Now, the United States can't formally declare war on North Korea because their troops are controlled by the United Nations. Meanwhile, in North Korea, they continue to attack South Korea and in 3 days have invaded Seoul.
Was the war negative or positive? Here's Anna with the info.
As you can see behind me, Korea has faced a lot of devastation from the Korean War. Along with being economically and agriculturally ruined, the transportation systems have been down for weeks. 12% of the Korean population has dropped and many have fled. Between the United States and the USSR, tensions have increased dramatically, and the United States almost launched an attack against China, fearing the spread of communism. Military spending and nuclear spending have gone up increasingly, fearing war.
Now over to a sad story of a Korean woman who was impacted by the attack on Seoul.
I am here with a South Korean woman from Seoul. Tell us what you experienced when North Korea invaded your village.
Nobody saw it coming. They had huge tanks and guns. I rushed to protect my children.
Was your house destroyed?
Yes, and all of the other houses in my village were destroyed as well.
How did you escape your village?
I fled with my children through the Han River to the Gyeonggi province.
What do you think of this war?
I feel like it's killing many people and ruining lives for a long time after fighting. I wish communism never came to Korea.
Thank you, and good luck to your family. You heard it here first, live in South Korea with Channel KAC News.
Now over to Kayla, who will discuss the impacts the war had on Koreans.
There were plenty of long-term effects as a result of the Korean War, especially for Korea. Most significantly, Korea remained apart as two separate countries, North Korea, which is communist, and South Korea, which is capitalist. These two countries were split by a wall that couldn't be crossed by anyone, also known as the 38th parallel. After the split, North Korea became isolated from the rest of the world, and the people there lost a lot of freedom. South Korea, on the other hand, was doing very well, and the people there gained freedom. It also became an important American military base.
Now back to Kayla to see how the war affected relationships between the U.S. and the Soviet Union.
The Korean War had an impact on the relationship between the United States and the Soviet Union. The rivalry between capitalism and communism, the two competing economic policies, only grew after the war ended. The tension between the two countries was rising as well, and the relationship between them deteriorated even more than it was before.
Now over to Kayla for some facts about the war.
Hi, I'm here to tell you 5 interesting facts about the Korean War. My first fact is that there are still more than 7,000 soldiers missing in action from the war. That's a lot of soldiers. My second fact is that the Korean War had a total of 5 million dead, wounded, or missing, half of them being civilians. It's terrible that so many civilians were involved in this war. Also, the U.S. dropped more bombs in Korea than in the entire Pacific during World War II. That's a lot of bombs in such a short period of time. Another thing is that the Korean War ended with both countries remaining separated along the 30th parallel, so no territory was gained or lost. Also, an atomic bomb was planned on being dropped in China if they sent troops to North Korea. That would have been very bad for China.
In short, this war impacted many people and nations and will be one that is always remembered. Now, say thank you to our wonderful reporters who gave us a great show, and thank you for watching. I'm Cassidy Herman. Have a great day.
See you next week.